Hello everyone, this is Miss Abby from the Attleboro Arts Museum, and we are here today in my home studio in Franklin to do a little art project together. Our inspiration for today's art project is Vincent van Gogh's vase with 12 sunflowers, which is pictured here next to me. I actually have this piece hanging in my studio. It's one of my favorites. Okay, let's begin with creating our sunflowers. We are going to be using our coffee filters for our flower, but they take a little bit of time to dry, so I think we should begin here. I have a little dollop of acrylic paint, and we want to thin that paint out a little bit to saturate our coffee filter. So I'm going to dampen my sponge, squeeze it out a little bit, get some paint going, and I'm smushing it around in a circle. And then I'm going to move to my other plate, and I'm just going to gently sort of push the paint into my coffee filter. We want to create about 5 or 6 of these for our project. Now go ahead and place them somewhere safe and let them dry. While our sunflowers are drying, let's begin our background. So we're going to start with a large sheet of construction paper. We want to choose a blue color. I have a light blue here, but you can choose any blue you like. You also need to choose a second color. I have a peach or a beige color. This is going to be my tabletop that my sunflowers are sitting on. Now I've gone ahead and sliced this peach piece down a bit. You'll notice that it is not quite halfway on the paper. So we want to make sure that we have a lot of space up here for our sunflowers and just a little tabletop space at the bottom. So let's go ahead and glue that on. Now we're going to create our flower vase out of a paper bag and some newspaper. So you'll notice this is just a Stop and Shop bag that I have cut up. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half, because this is the easiest way to get a symmetrical vase. And what I'm going to do is just draw out a vase shape. And Vincent's vase is very kind of round and squatty. So let's see what we get. There we have it. We have a nice vase shape. Now, if we think of Vincent's painting, his vase is sort of divided by a smiley face. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that smiley face in, because we want some contrast between the bottom of our vase and the top of our vase. So the top of our vase we are going to fill with newspaper. So we have a lighter top and a darker bottom. Now we have our vase. So while our vase is drying, we're going to go back to our background and add some colored pencil. Now Vincent's paintings were done in oils, and there's a lot of texture and thick paint in his work. So instead of just having a solid background, I thought we could add in some hatching lines to create that texture and make the background a little more interesting. Let's start with the tabletop. So I want to add maybe some gold and some yellow texture, and I think I'm going to start in a horizontal hatching, side to side. Now let's take a little gold, and let's go in the other direction. So let's go up and down. Now let's do the same thing for the background. I'm going to switch my colors to some blues and greens. Now we're going to do the same thing, start in one direction. Now let's change colors and go up and down. And with our final color, let's go diagonal. Now that we have some beautiful texture in our background, let's go ahead and add our vase. And we're simply going to take our vase that we made earlier and glue that on to our paper. Now that our sunflower coffee filters have completely dried, let's go ahead and prep them for adding them to our final collage. So I want to trim these guys down a little bit, so I'm going to make a pile of them so I can easily trim all of them at the same time. Now I want to make sure that my sunflowers have that brown center to them. So I'm taking my colored pencil, and as we did for the background, we're going to add some hatching lines. So I'm going to go up and down, side to side, diagonal, and diagonal in both directions. Now that I have centers on all of my sunflowers, I'm going to go ahead and give them a little crumple. So I'm going to pinch them in the center and just give them a little crumple. Now we're ready to apply our sunflowers to our vase. Now the final step is going to be to outline our vase a little bit with a darker colored pencil. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our Vincent van Gogh Sunflower Collage project. We know it's stressful times out there for everyone, but art is the best therapy. So this is Miss Abby saying, just let it all go.